Hey everyone, welcome to Film Study. I have an extremely special guest, rookie forward for the Connecticut Sun. You might know her, she's a rookie out of LSU. And listen, one of the best rebounders I have ever seen in my entire life, Aneesah Morrow. Thank you so much for sitting down with me on Film Study.
Of course, it's great.
I'm gonna just go out there. I said one of the best rebounders, so the cat's out of the bag. You're one of the best rebounders that we saw in college, and I look for that to carry forward into the WNBA. So, what are different tangible parts of your game that you do?
I would say I have an amazing motor. I wouldn't be able to rebound as intense as I do every night with double teams and triple teams thrown at me. So I would say my motor. Honestly, being a student of the game, trying to learn about the game as much as I can, and of course, rebounding and letting that turn into my offense.
Okay, I like that. Parts of your game that I think are going to translate into the WNBA. Obviously, you talked about your motor. We talked about your knack for being able to rebound. But I think it's like the broken play element that I've been impressed. You talk about the numbers game of 50-50 balls and being able to convert in broken
Yeah.
plays. I think you're one of the best in the country, especially in college, at doing so. So if you watch this play right here, and I'll pause it, as we go. Right here, you're in like a simple dribble handoff action on the court at the top of the floor, which you seem extremely comfortable. So take me through kind of within the offense. What did you do at LSU that you felt, or what did Coach Mulkey do at LSU to put you in a position in the floor where you were able to play that small forward position and get the team within offense?
Yeah, majority of the time I take the ball out. I like to get it out quick. Sometimes I would tell my teammates, like, no, I'm taking the ball out every possession of every game. I know that it's a lot harder because you got to run the full length of the floor, but I wanted to be that ultimate threat once I got the ball. I could decide right now if I'm going to pass the ball, pitch the ball, hand it off, or I could attack my man. So that's so many options that open up for our offense.
100%. And then when you're talking about swinging the ball, right here with the dribble handoff, this is something right here was what we were talking about. This broken play right here, just having a knack for
Mhm.
where the ball is, being able to have the touch around the basket. Where did that come from? Obviously, we watched you play a number of times at DePaul, but where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, you talk about your motor. Who did you learn that from, or is that something that you just always did?
I feel like it's something that I always did, but I kind of had my wake up call when I got to the Paul. I remember calling my mother and I was like, like the seniors shoot a lot of the balls. Like, how am I going to be able to produce for the team? And she was like, well, you got to go get it. And that's something that's driven me to be able to go rebound, but also when I get an opportunity to help my team offensively, if a play breaks down, I have to be able to be productive in those opportunities. And I feel like that's what would allow me to separate.
Well, guess what, Aneesah? You're back in the same position. You're basically a
Yeah.
freshman all over again in the WNBA, and guess what? Cat's out the
Yes.
bag. The vets like to shoot the ball a lot. So I feel like, being able to have that under your belt is going to be, successful. All right, so we're going to run the next play. So your spin move. This is something that
Okay.
I absolutely love watching in your game because you utilize your body. Obviously, there are taller post players out there. There are players that definitely have different body types. And I know that when I was playing, I had to learn how to utilize my quickness to kind of counter the physicality of the game. I feel like your spin move has kind of become a little bit of that within college. Okay, so can you take me through? Obviously, we understand you're right handed, but can you take me through right here when you get the ball in your sweet spot in that mid post area, what you're trying to do?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to beat my defender off my first step. And majority of the time, my defenders love to push me off because they're very physical with me and they want to take away that right hand and force me to go left. So I just spin and I try to get to the basket and finish around contact because I know help side will be there.
100% right here. I think using your body and spinning off her. But the thing I want to note too, there's a lot of people that spin off contact and there's a lot of people that spin into
Mhm,
contact. Right here, if you look, you don't give the
mhm.
defender any space to recover
Yeah.
because your elbow is literally over the top of her arm. So you spin with your elbow over the top, and then she's able to release and come up, but you're already through under her arm, which I think is one of those skills that, you know, a lot of post players will spin off away from contact and give the defender a chance to recover. What is your point that you're trying to do? Because, you know, obviously you haven't played in the WNBA yet, but a lot of it is physical. A lot of it is, you know, the speed of the game does increase from college. What elements of your post game do you think that you're going to be able to try to use at the next level?
Honestly, which is pretty funny, I feel like I use my speed when it comes down to the post because I'm a lot smaller. I try to be physical. I try to match physicality. But there are some opponents that you meet that are a lot stronger than you. So there is like, what can I do? And a lot of things that I've been working on is being able to slow down my game because I feel like I rushed a lot of shots in college and I feel like I took a lot of shots that were contested. But if I would have took a ball fake or just had a little bit more patience, I could have seen a shot go in or I would have been able to have a productive play. So that's something that I've been working on, my jabs, my head fakes, getting my player in the air, just trying to basically kind of manipulate them just with my eyes and my feet before I even put the ball on the floor.
You said something right there that I think is undervalued whenever you're transitioning to the next step is the pace at which you play at. Like you have to dictate the pace. And that's where greatness lies. And so you just said it. I think you hit it right on the head just in terms of being able to use your skill set, but being a little bit more deceptive with it. You know, if you watch players that are able to get to their spot, they don't do it with necessarily just one move or whatever. You have to have a move, a counter move, and then you got to be able to be strategic a little bit. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next play. When you're going into the WNBA, because you're not going to have the ball in your hands all the time, you have to figure out ways to make others around you better. And I think like this play right here, just being able to obviously be in the right place at the right time. Your teammate found you maybe a little late, but then you're already one step ahead. You know the defense is going to recover and come over. And not having to take a bad shot. That's the hardest thing for rookies is figuring out what is a good shot versus what is a great shot. So right here, you see, you could have gone up and taken a contested look, but being able to find your teammate, we call that like buddy pass. What was it that in college do you think playing within the LSU offense helped you develop in terms of facilitating?
I know that I sat down and I talked to Coach Mulkey and she told me she wanted me to be a better leader, but not just physically, vocally as well. And that's something that I tried to do, install the confidence in my teammates. And yes, I would pass up my own shot for another teammate's shot. And that's something that you got to see in that play. But also knowing my scouting report, like my defender blocked shots. Like I wasn't trying to get my shot blocked. So knowing that she would close out hard, to me, it would take her a little bit longer just to contest for my teammate, which potentially, if she would have tried to close out again to her, she would have fouled her. So that puts her in a position for an N1. So just trying to think the game as quick as you can, but also knowing your scouting report really matters.
I love that. I love when, you know, especially post players are able to facilitate and make things easier because I know we talk about the point guard, but being at the forward position, being able to operate in the middle of the floor, you kind of control the offense. And so the offense does flow through you. Yeah. And in the WNBA, you know, the success has come from that forward position. I know I'm a little biased, being that I played that position, but, you know, you look at, you know, the players that really get their team going are in the middle of the floor, have the ball in their hands. You look at Brianna Stewart, you looked at Elena Deladon before she retired, you looked at Asia Wilson, Nneka Ogwumike. So I think that those are all positions and players that would be great for you to watch because within the offense, they're in dribble handoffs, they're in pocket passes, and they're in ways to, like, you know, help improve the offense.
Yes, for sure.
We're a three-point shooting WNBA team, WNBA league, I should say. It's all about being able to shoot the three to get more space. How much have you worked to try to improve your catch and shoot?
I've been working extremely hard, honestly. something that I noticed coming into the W, you have to have a quick release. And like I know a lot of times with being a four, and a lot of people in college didn't really respect my three. I didn't take a lot last year, but I never really had to have a quick release. I got time to gather my feet, everything, because I never really had anyone closing out on me. So that's something that I really been working on, getting my feet and my hands, and not only that, just my foundation and my follow through together, and being able to knock down those threes. And I've been seeing improvement every day. So we'll see it soon.
All right, we're going to see it at the next level. But for now, we got to look at the LSU. It's a little up screen. Flage draws 2. You got time and space. You take your time and release. I think the biggest thing, too, is understanding that, again, it goes back to pace. It goes back to space. But it also goes back to, like, the ability to put in the work and know that the numbers are going to follow. So it's the confidence behind being able to take shots, but it's also the confidence in being able to miss them. Like sometimes we get in our head when you miss a couple, but instead of focusing on the result, focus on how you're missing. Are you missing left? Are you missing right? Are you missing front? Are you missing back? I think that's the thing just from being around shooters that you learn as you go on. Because a lot of times, you know, scorers, you focus on the miss. But really, it's like how are you doing it? And so I look at that element of your game, and I'm like, it will be absolutely scary if you can consistently knock down that 3-point shot.
Yes, for sure.
All right, we're going to run the next play. So right here, we talk about the finishing of everything. And I love this dunker spot right here. And if you're, you know, able to kind of like take out your pen that we have, because we're going to use the pen, to draw the spots. There you go. I saw it. So I was like, we're going to use it. If you could draw on the court some of your favorite spots, like if you're to diagram a play, let's say, and you have some of your favorite spots that you know that you can operate out of, what would those be? Right there? Okay.
I would say both dunkers and kind of under the free throw line or free throw line extended.
Okay, I like that. So here's my task for you. Within the WNBA, everything gets moved out probably 2 more feet. So just know that those spots are going to be 2 feet further. And so the way you develop and build your game has got to be like that. Like your turnaround jump shot is not going to be in the paint. It's going to be 2 steps outside. You know, your hook shots and things like that. So we'll run this next play because you were hanging out in one of your favorite spots. All right, right here. So you're hanging out in your dunker spot, and the dunker spot is around the baseline. It allows for dribble penetration without bigs ducking in to clog the lane. So obviously Flage draws 2. You're still hanging out in the dunker spot. And what I like about this is you can tell that you're ready. You're ready to catch the ball. And a lot of post players aren't really ready with hands, with jerseys, with numbers. And so you see on this play right here, you're already preparing yourself for the catch. I think that this is an element too of within the game is like being able to play off of your guards. And so that is another thing. You watch A'ja Wilson, she hangs out in the dunker spot a lot of times, and she's able to be the beneficiary of a lot of Chelsea Gray's drop-offs or dribble penetration. So I think that this is an element of your game. Like, is this something that you all work on with finishing as post players, whether it be at DePaul or whether it's at LSU?
Yes, we worked on a lot of things around the post every day. I know I used to get hit in the face with the pad, contact knocked out a few times, but they challenge us every day in practice. The move that Flage does, we get to see that. So it's just playing off of each other. We get to see each other's style of game, style of play, and what we like. Majority of the time, like I know that she's going to pass that ball, especially with Betts being in there because she don't want to get her shot blocked. And it was the best pass to make, and we were able to be productive with it. But just knowing your teammates and the style of play, but also we practice that in practice, like the physicality, toughing each other up, being able to finish. Because in my opinion, I personally felt like I was fouled on that play, but you know, we still got it done. We got the 2 points and next possession.
A little stray for the ref, but it's cool. They missed the call. They missed the call. But listen, I think another element of what you just said is being able, like you said, to play off the guard, to be ready. And like you said, I think it is kind of developing that chemistry. And let me warn you, you better get your hands up because I know Mabry likes dropping no looks. And so you better get your hands up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'll hit you in the face. So be ready for Marina's passes. So the next play I feel like is what we have come to know and love about you, is that your tenacity, your nose for the ball within rebounding. I think you're so dangerous within second chance opportunities. You talk about right here, nice little in and out block, but you stay with it. And we've seen the power of staying with plays. You're going to get your shot blocked at the next level, right? But that second jump is something that I think is super powerful. Right here, nice little in and out. You get her going, you take up space, and you rebound. When did you make rebounding your thing? Because I feel like you've always become or been synonymous with, the second chance points.
Yeah, just wanting to see how I can help my team. And I feel like there's no bad rebound.
Yep.
Like me helping my team rebound, it's a selfish thing, but it's selfless for the team. So, and it takes extra work. It takes a will. It's something that you want to do, and you have to get it done every night. And that's just my mindset. Like, I set the goal high when I go into games. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm getting 20 rebounds tonight. I know we have a tough opponent, but I'm going to get 20. And if I fall short, then I fall at 15. But, like, I got to sometimes make it quote unquote unrealistic. And then next thing you know, I actually have 20 rebounds in a game. So it's just about the mindset. It's about what you work forward to every day in practice. I work hard in practice every day. That's creating that next level of conditioning. They always say if you want to be elite, you have to train to be elite, and it starts in practice. So that's something that I've always done, and I really feel like that shot was very unorthodox. But it's so funny because I do that in practice, and my teammates be like, how the hell you make that? And I'm like, I'm just playing around. But in the game, it works because I'm able to make shots like that.
That's unbelievable. I'm gonna ask you this. So do you think what's gonna come easier for you is gonna be 15 points or 15 rebounds? What you got?
I would say 15 rebounds.
15 rebounds? Okay,
the 15 points will come off the rebounds.
I like that. When shall I expect you to get 15 rebounds? Is it going to be early in your rookie season? You're going to take some time to figure it out? I just want to know so that we could play this clip, and it's almost like, I already knew that you were going to have a 15 and 15 game or, whatnot.
Yeah. I say it'll be early on. I feel like nobody has seen a rebounder like me when coming into the league. I know that it's not going to be easy at all, but I feel like the motor that I have and the intensity that I bring on the boards is unmatched in my opinion. So I say a little bit earlier on for the season.
Mic drop. You heard it here first on Film Study. All right, we're going to go to the last play for you. And again, we saved the best for last, obviously, in terms of steal. I think you're shooting the gap, your pressure, your ability to guard out on the perimeter as well as in the post is unmatched. And, I think that is something that you can be one of those players that can guard multiple people and be dependable and help side. A lot of it is about help. You see right here, you're guarding somebody that is way taller than you, and you do it with physicality, right here. You're sealed. You're sealed. But I think it's your second and your third effort is what makes it special. Everything's not going to be perfect. So when you're guarding bigger posts, what is your mentality? What do you try to do?
Honestly, I want to bump them up the lane first. I don't want them to just bury me down in the inside, because I know they already have an advantage with the height. I like to use my speed when it comes down to these plays. I'm baiting her right now, and she doesn't even know. And I'm looking at her eyes, and I'm like, this is where they want to go, and they got the mismatch that they want. But we're basically split right now. Like if I was completely behind her, I feel like I'm beat. But since we're split and I'm still trying to push her up the lane, I easily could just slide under her arm because she's going to use me. as a balance because she wants to bury me inside. And then that's when I just pull the chair and I get around.
Well, you do just that. You're baiting her in this play, and you're able to get the steal. Again, I feel like you're going to be in this situation where you're guarding taller post players a lot at the next level.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, people talk about your arms and your physicality, but for me, it's your feet on this play. Right here, if you watch, you never get buried with your feet. And, I think that that's going to be something that you definitely have to carry over in playing in the WNBA, because the word's out, there are not a lot of great passers in the WNBA. And so for your ability on the defensive end to take advantage of that, as well as your speed and your quickness, I think you're going to be scary on that end of the floor. So listen, I appreciate you sitting down with me at film study. I wish you all the best of luck next year. My prediction is you do get that 15-15 game this year. But listen, good luck your rookie year. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the process. And I'm definitely cheering for you this year.
Thank you so much.